When it comes to Theta, I want to explain two reasons why I'm still holding, even though nothing I say is financial advice, and even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is just what I'm doing personally speaking as of right now. Now, again, why wouldn't I just exit when it comes to Theta, in my perspective at least? I still want to hold because, yeah, sure, as of right now, market cap is around that $380 million range. And yeah, sure, $10 when it comes to Theta is around a 24x from here, so the pullback has been pretty extensive. But at the same time, the market cap that I'm seeing as of right now is over 6 times lower than what it achieved back in December of 2024. So that's almost a year ago, granted, but that's still less than a year ago from right now. So actually, less than a year ago, the market cap was what, over 6x right now? And I don't think that was even an altcoin season. Now, granted, people like to tell me, okay, but how low is Theta going to go? I have no control over that. But if my intention is to dollar cost average, I wouldn't necessarily complain if I was just able to dollar cost average into Theta, basically at levels that I haven't seen in a very long time, basically. Because, okay, let's just think about this, right? When was the last time I saw Theta dip below $400 million in market cap? Like, I'd have to look quite a ways back, right? I mean, I'd have to look back in what, 2020? You know what I mean? So when it comes to that case, right, when I take a look at, again, something like Theta, I have not seen a market cap this low in basically, what is this, 5 years? I mean, it's been quite a while. Not even 5 years, actually. It's actually over 5 years. But I'm just saying, if I haven't seen those levels in basically over 5 years in terms of market cap, would I be complaining if my intention is to dollar cost average? I don't know about that, right? That's my perspective. Actually, I wouldn't complain, but I'm just saying. When it comes to that, I'm just dollar cost averaging to try to bring the average cost lower. That's about it. Now, am I trying to find the perfect time? Absolutely not. What I'm doing is I'm just doing it once a month. Again, dollar cost averaging once a month, and that's it. Because I have no control about what's going to happen when it comes to Theta. I have no control about what it's going to do. The only thing I can do is just control myself, and that's pretty much about it. But that's what I'm choosing to do, even though no one necessarily told me to do it. Even though, again, no matter what someone told me, even at the end of the day, I'm making my own decisions when it comes to this, right? But why am I doing it? Just because I like the concept overall. When it comes to Theta, I don't think it's going to become the biggest project of all time, but I still like kind of the vibes nonetheless when it comes to Theta, because even if we take a look at it, which actually brings me to my second reason why I'm still holding Theta, and that is because I like the fundamentals. Because first of all, if we take a look at it, Theta could kind of be viewed as a dual network sort of design, I would say, so to speak, in my perspective, because it's made up of the Theta Edge network and the Theta blockchain. Now, the Theta Edge network basically provides GPU compute power. GPU stands for graphic processing unit, but besides that, again, it provides GPU compute power, for instance, in the case of like AI. However, also on top of that, if we take a look at the Theta blockchain, it's a Ethereum virtual machine, or should I say EVM, compatible multi-blockchain network that supports Turing-complete smart contracts. Yeah, it just sounds pretty, kind of complicated, I guess, but it is what it is. However, at the same time, why do I like Theta nonetheless? Well, it's because I just kind of feel like the concept is pretty interesting, and I do like the narrative when it comes to AI. And also on top of that as well, I like an aspect of EVM, or should I say Ethereum virtual machine. Now, granted, I could go a lot deeper when it comes to Theta, fundamentally speaking, but if I just kind of want to explain it basically, that's the way to take a look at it, without just kind of overcomplicating things for no reason, in my perspective. Now, also, I want to mention something called T-Fuel, which is kind of the operational token of Theta, and it's kind of, in a sense, viewed as the gas token, so to speak. But, of course, I am focusing on the Theta token, which I'm talking about as of right now. This kind of dual token sort of vibe here kind of reminds me of VeChain, because of course VeChain has something called, again, VET, which is its primary native token, and also has something called VTHO, which stands for VeChain Thor Energy, and it kind of reminds me in a way where the use case is kind of similar to something like T-Fuel. So yeah, that's kind of the whole vibe that I'm seeing, in case someone out there knows VeChain, but I'm saying as well. That's just the way to take a look at it. Now, when it comes to Theta, people like to say, oh, it's not the most interesting project out there. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's not the most interesting project out there. But it's not, I think, that bad in terms of the popularity, because, sure, the market cap is below $500 million, but still, even as of right now, having a market cap of around 380 million, it's still holding up pretty okay. And again, I haven't seen these levels in terms of market cap in over 5 years, which may seem kind of not such a good thing initially, but again, when Theta had that pretty good rally back in 2021, and even if we just don't take a look at that rally, right? Let's say we just take a look at, like, what it did back in December of 2024. Even at that point, a lot of my friends were telling me, wow, the market cap of Theta at one point was below a billion, and how at that time was nearly 3 billion. So, in the grand scheme of things, I do not want to wait for a certain point to enter, because if, let's say, it does something, along the journey, I don't want to kind of skip out on that. That's the way to take a look at it, even though I'm not telling anyone anything. Now, some people may ask me, okay, how low could Theta go? I have no idea, because I can't control Theta. In theory, could it go lower? I mean, who knows? Like, I can't control it, right? But then at the same time, I can only control myself, which is why I'm just dollar cost averaging once a month. Now, granted, I'm not trying to find the perfect moment again. That's not what I do, because let's say for whatever reason in a make-believe scenario, I feel like a certain point is the perfect moment. And then I try to go into that, and then suddenly, for whatever reason, things go lower. It is a possibility, right? Then what happens? If I already went kind of so committed at that point, if it, for whatever reason, went lower, I'm not going to be able to dollar cost average anymore. Then at that point, I'm just waiting. And it's not even just waiting like right now. It's even more boring, because I can't even dollar cost average anymore right at that point in that make-believe scenario. So yeah, that's why I just never try to find the perfect moment. I just dollar cost average once a month, and that's it. It's just like incrementally dollar cost averaging over a period of time. Now, what I also want to mention when it comes to Theta is that actually the current circulating supply is exactly a billion, which I find pretty fascinating. Now, it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, but it's just pretty fascinating seeing how some other projects out there, the supply is like 10.895 billion, something like that. But then when it comes to this, it's very simple. That's the way to take a look at it. Again, just something I wanted to mention real quick nonetheless. So even hypothetically at the idea of $10, the market cap, considering current circulating supply, would actually be exactly 10 billion. So yeah, it's just something I find pretty interesting just because of the current circulating supply and just the tokenomics overall. It doesn't really mean too much, again, in the grand scheme of things, but I just wanted to mention that nonetheless. Now, people like to tell me, okay, Theta seems to have pretty okay listings, but why is it doing this? Well, as of right now, it is not just Theta having a pullback, right? The way you take a look at it is that many projects out there that aren't known to have good fundamentals, they're also having a pullback. But when it comes to Theta and also some other projects out there, which kind of historically some people have considered to have a pretty okay use case, they're also having a pullback, right? So in both instances, if we take a look at it, projects that are known to have good fundamentals and ones that aren't necessarily known to have good fundamentals, if they're both having a pullback, what am I going to be focusing on? Of course, I'm going to be focusing on the projects that I'm a fan of and the ones that I like the fundamentals. It's like, for instance, let's say I walk inside a store and my intention is to buy, let's say, running shoes. And also, for whatever reason, the shoe store is all having a discount for whatever reason. So we're talking about the hiking boots, the dress shoes, even also the running shoes are having a discount. But when I walk inside that store, am I going to be focusing on the things that I don't want, or the ones that I actually like fundamentally and the ones that I actually want to use? Or should I say, in this case, the running shoes? Of course, I'm going to be focusing on that. Now, the whole store having a discount, it doesn't necessarily mean those running shoes became bad all of a sudden fundamentally. It's just that the whole store is having a discount. However, when it comes to the space, it's not only just a certain amount of projects that are having a pullback. Generally speaking, a bunch are. It doesn't even almost really matter anymore if the project is good or not perceived to be fundamentally, right? It's just having this kind of general pullback. So overall, I am still staying patient. I'm not necessarily concerned because I still like the fundamentals of Theta. And again, a bunch of things are having a pullback. It's not only just Theta, which is why I'm still staying patient. I'm holding, and ultimately that's all I can really do. I am not telling anyone to do anything. When people ask me, is there going to be an altcoin season? When is it going to happen? I do not know for both instances. I don't have to answer to those questions because I can't control the market. The only thing I can do is just stay patient, hold, and wait. But I don't think I've seen an altcoin season during this cycle. That's about it. So if that is the case, I'm going to still stay patient, hold, and yeah, just pretty much wait it out, I guess. and see what happens. And that's pretty much about it. And I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you'll have a nice day. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.